This is James with DeHart Reptile Design. So this was actually one of the coolest clutches we came up with this season. Of course, there's a bunch of animals in there that are in shed, but we actually hit a Pompeii, but it's a lesser pastel Pompeii. And this little female won't be going anywhere. She's going to be staying at our facility, but you can see how those... I mean, it's, you take a look at it, of course, from Justin's, and you can see all the same markings, you know, just dripping.
Yeah.
You got the bubbles on the back, just like this one has the bubbles on the back. That's really a distinguishing factor whenever somebody's saying we see the little bubbles on the back. You got a really, really wide stripe on the back. And again, identifying 5 codom recessive animals is very, very difficult. So whenever you're doing that, you always try to go for the least amount of genetics that you think are in there. So luckily, this one is actually confirmed by Justin himself. Justin sold me the female that we produced this one off of.
That's pretty wicked.
Yeah, and then this one, of course, is a red stripe. And people always want to know, like, the quality of your red stripe is important. So this is an incredible good quality red stripe, Justin's line. Honestly, if your red stripe doesn't look like this, you know, in quality over quantity every single time.
That's a beautiful snake.
Yeah, so I've got those. And then certain projects we really like getting into. I'm not one of these guys that has like you see breeders that have like their top secret projects, and I'm an open book. I just I don't care. I'm not trying to I'm not Justin. I'm not even remotely going to try to do what Justin does. I'm just like some little guy whittling away in my room, just trying to create cool stuff. So a few of the other cool stuff that I got producing. I like to do a lot with super gravel.
Yeah, the super gravel stuff's real cool.
Yeah, and a lot of people say they like asphalt over gravel. Honestly, I like them both. It's just gravel's a little bit easier. I like gravel because you get more banding with it. Super gravels get an incredible amount of banding. Let me see if this one's actually... you just don't get that with asphalt. Asphalt is a little bit more dorsal. You get too much dorsal on asphalt. This one is actually just a leopard highway, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And then we also have a pastel leopard highway.
That thing is awesome, dude.
And we have this one's, she's feisty. Just be aware. She'll probably try to...
Won't be the first time.
This one is a pastel super gravel. So you can see, you know, the complex. These are just as hard to produce as any recessive animal. Just like a recessive, you got to have the allele on both sides in order to create these animals. So stacking codoms on a lot of these guys just is kind of a lost art. After they make the, you know, kind of like the highway. After they made the pastel highway, nobody wanted to do anything else with it. After they made the pastel super gravel, you know, you saw Tom Harbin sell off his entire gravel stuff. I'm trying to, of course, I got leopard in here now. I got inchy. I got a pastel inchy super gravel, and then I got a super pastel super gravel inchy. So we're really heavily into this game, and also kind of like a cool side note, some things that we don't even know what the hell we have. Well, this girl just has a shed. This girl was produced last year, and again, like, I don't like, this is super gravel. I know what it is, but I've had some people tell me that there's a super gravel pastel or super pastel super gravel, but honestly, it doesn't look anything like what I've been seeing, you know, a super pastel, super gravel would look like. So again, the jury's out on that. That's why I kept her. I'm like, I don't know. You know, she's free to me, so I might as well just keep her and work with her. So yeah, honestly, out of all these guys, I mean, it's just so hard to pick a favorite. You know, I like the darks in this one. I like how this one's just so much more fragmented.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm not trying to give these guys away this year. And since the market's been so tough, you know, a very, very real possibility that I just probably keep them all. I'm not, you know, I got a lot of breeders right now, feeding a lot of mouths. And some of this that I've been seeing on like Bob Boo's table, and it's just like just giving animals away. So luckily, you know, I'm at a point right now where I don't have to actually make any money doing this. You know, 2000 was great. 2001 was even better. But I'm perfectly fine just doing this as a hobby. So I think there's one more animal I want you to take a look at. So this one's really cool. It's right down here. I'm sorry. This one it's a stunner still. This one is that super gravel, super pastel inchy.
Super gravel, super pastel inchy.
Yeah.
That thing is awesome.
Yeah, that one's gonna be breeding for me this next season. So I mean, it's a boy, his breed size, but I'm gonna hold him off for this season. Of course, like somebody comes over, all you want to do is like show off all your animals, right? Something I made this year that I really didn't know was this is really cool. This is what is called a bypass. So you can see so I'll show you a regular.
Bypass is the highway and the.
This one's I believe Spark and Gravel. Spark and Gravel make bypass. So this is what I think a typical bypass is. Could be pastel. So little done with bypass. And all my snakes are super feisty. I like them that way because they eat. But yeah, this one's like honing in on me. He's like, I'm gonna eat you.
Pull me out of my bed.
Yeah, I like them feisty. But yeah, this one is actually a leopard inchy bypass.
Leopard inchy.
So you can see just how much things get more dark. You know, come on, lady.
There she goes.
I just don't want her biting him. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And you know, you're doing stuff every year, and you're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, I wonder what this makes. And you're like, oh, that's really cool. Come on, baby. It's like, I am angry for no reason. This is a new incubator we got this last season. We had to make a few adjustments on it, but it actually has a steel frame on the inside. It keeps good temps. We do notice there's still a pretty big drop from the top level to the bottom. We have 3 fans. So things with incubators is that you're always just kind of fiddling around with them. The fans do have a variable speed mode. We have water bottles on the bottom to keep the heat in, but you know, what I notice is that, you know, if I have the fans too high, the eggs dry out and desiccate. If I have the fans too low, the temperature difference between top and bottom are way vastly different. And so you kind of have to figure things out. So what I did this last year is I actually had them on low. And when I first put the eggs in, I put them in at the bottom. And as time went on, I started moving those eggs up to the very top so that they all got an equal amount of time at equal level of temperature. And it worked. Don't ask me how. I mean, don't ask me why, but the difference between top and bottom, it was like a 7-degree difference, which is huge. But luckily, we had only a few eggs die on us this last year. I think we had over 14 clutches, so it wasn't bad. Those are the kids' geckos.
Some cresties, a lychee.
A little crusty over here.
A little crusty.
I need to change.
Back there.
Yeah, the bedding is just completely overrun with what is it?
We try to go with the isopods.
Isopods, yeah, the isopods. Springtails, isopods, you need to change out the bedding because they just get overrun with the springtails and isopods over time. So that is something that we're going to do pretty soon, change out all the bedding. But we still have live plants in there, so it's not too bad.